This plant is Hebe Patty's Purple, and it's a really nice compact evergreen shrub. Most of the Hebes, I believe, are from New Zealand, and this is in Northern California. We're in an area that gets cold, down in the 20s Fahrenheit during the winter, and this is January actually. We've had a lot of frost this year, and this plant is doing fine with that. So let me get into what I like and don't like about Hebe Patty's Purple. These are 1-year-old plants approximately from 5-gallon containers. They're about 30 inches high and wide, and they were planted about 24 to 30 inches on center. You can see that one of the unique things about Hebes is their symmetrically whorled foliage, and it gives them a very unique, distinctive pattern to the leaves as they roll around the stem there. And also some of these, including this one, the Hebes, have this purplish stem that you can see here. So those are two of the really nice features that make this distinctive as an evergreen shrub. The other thing is the size. A lot of them are kind of this medium size, from 3 by 3 to maybe a little larger, up to 4 or 5 feet in width and height. And I find that as a designer a very useful size. As you can see here, I've got a window that I designed to use something that would stay under the window height, and these will do that comfortably. I don't know the exact size of these. I suspect they'll reach 4 feet, but typically I see these around 2.5 to 3.5 feet high and wide, and that's how I use them in design. If you need to keep them a little tighter, there's no problem with that. I've seen these 20 years old where they've been kept that size, so I think that's a pretty safe bet for sizing. Water-wise, I would not call these a drought-tolerant plant. I'd say these are average garden water. This plant is on the east side of a house. It will be protected from hot afternoon sun, and because of that, it won't need a lot of extra water. The lack of sun and heat buildup on the leaves will help it in terms of water conservation and managing that. I also just like how dark green the leaf is, and a lot of our lower water plants aren't great for that look. Now here's the other thing that people love about Hebes is the flower, and they have a very distinctive flower. Some people say it looks like a mini bottle brush. I guess that's true. This is January, by the way, and we have a few flowers on here, and so this is the distinctive color of Patty's Purple. Here you can see some of the spent flowers that were not deadheaded, and they're still on there, and that kind of makes the point about maintenance. There is a maintenance video on here that is for one of the other Hebes, Coed, and it goes over deadheading and maintaining this, and the same applies to this variety. So all I'd say is that once a year they need a good deadheading for them to look their best, so that you don't end up with these old flowers and seeds on the plant. So here's the downside to Hebes. They get some kind of blight that you can see here on this plant. And again, these are 1-year-old plants. You see how the end is shriveling up, the stem turned black, and it's happening over there in that part of the plant. I have seen this happen on a number of Hebes in the past. I'm reluctant to use the Hebe family because of this. What I've read about it is it seems to be a root or drainage related issue, and if you've got heavier soils or soils that are inclined towards being wet over long periods, I would probably avoid this plant. I've seen this just shut down a plant within a matter of weeks and kill it, and I've actually had plants die in the container of different variety than this. I have not had a big problem with this variety. What you can do is use shears to go in and cut, I would say, a good 6 inches or more below the affected areas, and between cuts I would recommend dipping it in a Clorox and water solution to sterilize the cuts so there's no chance of spreading whatever you think you're removing to the rest of the plant. So that's the biggest downside to Hebes. So they have a lot of upside, that's why I still use them, but that's one of the general concerns I would say to think about. Oh, also I read that these do not like extreme heat fluctuations. I've seen these in the Monterey area and they really seem to like it there. They have sandy soil and very moderate constant temperatures, and these favor that. So if you're coastal, I think you probably have a better bet with this plant because of the more moderated temperatures. Also, I have tried these around deer. The deer like them, so I would not use these in deer areas. And that is Hebe Patty's Purple.